Hello everyone, I'm just showing you this little light. It's about a 6 by 4.5, which I use for night work. It's no problem whatsoever to paint in the dark with this. So really this is for you, Annette, because you was mentioning you had difficulty when it's coming winter with your light. So they get this and you get the attachment which screws into the bottom of it there quite easily. You get a beautiful little bag. It's a box, but it's like a leather case really, and it's really good. You get 2 batteries. Just fasten it really tight. Now this end piece will slide on top there of my camera, or a little extension hanging over and pointed at your paper. There's a little dial there to switch on by compressing, 2 spare batteries, a charger. Really very, very good indeed. Now I'm just going to show you this before I start to paint. Now, it's going a little bit dark today with the weather being very bad, and I've had to cut off my talking to you and make this narration part afterwards. It's not going to be a long video, so you can see the idea is to just show you that you can do this with no problem and use this light, anybody. So here we go. I'll just run now. I'll just switch the light on. Now it's very good indeed. Any time of the day, night, any time. I've used this in complete darkness. It really is very good. It's not. You can buy the smaller ones, but this one is my favourite. It's really good. So we'll just run in a little bit of blue. Here, ultramarine in the spaces. It's a Watercolour paper. We're using it dry. I've not put no water in the sky because it's being in a hurry. I'm putting a little bit of pink on now. I'm not in a hurry really. I want to get done today pretty quickly. Have a lot on. And there we are. And then again I have to see to the patron, do a patron painting. So this is just a little bit of red, and just spacing it out how Wesson would do it. Nothing special. Hardly any sky at all. It's just one of these dull skies you see in Norfolk down there. We call it down south because we are in the northwest, and it's a totally different. Totally different land aspect round. There's a lot of flat, but where I am there's a lot of hills and that, lakes and Lake District areas. So we're not near London. So now I'm just going to put some distant hills in, but do you know, that's too high for a Wesson. So guess what, I'm going to wipe that off. And it won't make any difference if you wipe it while it's still wet. Now I wiped it there and then oh yeah, take it off altogether. See, you can wipe it clean off with this Watercolour. Watercolour paper seems to lend itself to just using a bit of wet brush and a stubbly brush, and you can rub with it and it'll rub the paint off and get your white patches or whatever, this Watercolour. Anyway, this is a bit of blue, a bit of red in it, and just putting a little distant hill in. That's better. That's about high enough. Yeah, that's it. A little bit of blue for shadow here and there, where it's a little bit of shadow from the sky hitting it here and there. The hills, it'll be a good miles away there. So now we want some, bring in a little bit of foreground and push it back a little bit. But we want to, now that's a bit strong, so I'll wipe it out. This is a path. I'm going to shove a path in here for a couple. You know, it makes it a little bit of variety. A little bit of a change in colours, you know, even in a path. So So there we have a path which I'll sort out in a second. When we mix a nice green, I try and get a Western green, which is a lovely green he uses. So off we go. Now we're after trying to get this Western green now. It really is a nice green he mixes. Not easy to get. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of orange to a strong blue, a green and yellow to get that warm kind of a green, which I like to use, and well, the old painters used a warm green. Now let's just see how far we are off it with this. I'm not sure. Just wipe a bit. Let's get on quickly, so just drying off a little bit so I can carry on quickly, not be held back. Now there's the green. Yeah, that's not too bad. Could be a little bit on a yellowy cast and that. But I'm really tickled about the colours of green I use, and it could have been a little touch yellower. It's surprising though, sometimes it dries that little touch different, isn't it? But that, just a little touch, but hardly any. A little bit more, just that little touch of maybe yellowy colour in it. Now that's the quite a bit of blowing time now, so I should have took a bit of this out. I usually can do, you know, but I'm drying it off so that we can speed up a bit. Now let's see what can be going now. Yes, I just like to. I use clips on the side, and this is Bockingford. I'm not over-wet it, you see. That's why it's not buckled. I haven't over-wet it. Now I'm just putting a few distant trees in with a mop brush. It's a little mop brush. There, you see. Pulling to the side and not having them too round tops, you know. Little tip that. Anyway, here we go. We bring a shadow across, sky shadow, cloud shadow there, and a bit of a rush really. Should have levelled it off more, but still. You forgive me for that, won't you? Here we are then. And see where we're going. Yes. Just drying it off. The portion I could have took out really, couldn't I, in editing. I do some things unusual. You know, you can see my palette there. Well, that palette, I've covered the thumb hole there at the top right one there, just above on the right. You can see top, and I've covered that with a piece of plastic, white plastic, stuck it down, but flattened the thumb hole first. And another a little thing I've done with it. It's prone. I never fold it, so I don't need to bother about that. I never fold it. So what I've done, when I've turned it over upside down, where the joint is, where you join it together, the palette, I've blocked it in to stop any paint running out at all onto a table or onto my knee or anywhere, because it do tend to go through the crack, the joint of the. Now this is I tried to get this lovely green he uses. It's very dark and it's a sharpish green, very sharpish. It's not a bright, but it's a dull bluey cast of a darkish colour of green. And I really love this green colour. I always try to get this green, this dark green, the darkest possible. and I've got an idea how to get it now, like, you know, with the colours to use, but Albert said this, it's not an ultramarine and it's not a most of colour of what you think, so I won't mention it. I'll leave a few things for my class. So it's a bit of a rush here, so I'm rushing along. Let's see what we can do again. Put another bit of a cloud across, a bit darker this time, or a bit of shadow in your green ray. There was much more I could do to this, but didn't bother, just carried on with it. Here we go with a shade going across the road. A little bit dark, not quite straight enough. But it's the camera thinking of and things like that. I did one of this with the light last night, and I forgot to measure how far, you know, how near I was to the camera, and it was so blurred. I was so out of focus I had to take it off. It was a shame, really. It was a really nice one I'd done for Annette. Anyway, this one I've just done now this morning. Approximately 11 o'clock here, raining. I had to take out the sound because of the rain and the storm hitting the roof. You would have been hearing it here now. So I've taken that out. Yes, it's that green is a look. It's really essential to get the right colours, really. And to get the right colour in a lot of cases, it really saves a lot of other work. It takes the attention and makes the other work, brings all the other work out of primal focus, and this is what you take notice of most. The quality of the colours sometimes is more important than anything. Well, so I think, because distances and close to and all this, bringing it closer to you, bring the trees forward a little bit by having just the right depth of tonal value. Oh, now see what I'm going to do. I know what I thought I'd do. I thought I'd put a couple of figures in here for you. So here we go. I'm putting just a couple of figures. And what Edward West did, he usually he kept long legs and small bodies, really, and always narrow. But I tend to think a man's shoulders was wide, almost straight compared with a lady's shoulders, which are round. But Ted loved to do them in it like an elongated type of it. But they look beautiful. They're just spot on. And not all of the legs showing, just part of a leg and half of a leg. And it looks great. And to let the dark of the trousers, let the dark of the trousers run slightly into the yellow of the lady and the blue of the man. If you just put a little stick there, I don't know if you'd be able to see it if you use a larger size view in and view to, view into it. I'll put a little girl there, I think. I don't know, yeah. I can't remember. Well, although it's only a few minutes ago, I do that many. Okay, there she is. I put a little bits of light red her legs instead of black trousers. Now that's looking not too bad really. For I think we don't need to do much more. I would think we'd put a bit of water there, but we'll have to take that off and put it a bit lighter. Probably with a little bit of Payne's grey. Tittle colour. Very, very tittle colour for that. Just a little touch of it, that's all. Oh, that'll do now, Alan. That's it. Fine. Now you see, using this light, not bad at all, is it, with the light? It wanted some cutting off. That was a bit too long. Aye, and that. See, I can't get it under, I don't think. Can I? No, I can't, so I'll just leave it on top. And there you are, Annette, showing her and everybody else just what you can do. There we are. I'll just switch the light on there, see? Just give you a minute to look at it, a minute or two. There you are, nice and sweet and quick. Thanks for looking in. Don't forget, I've got the Patreon there, the group, to learn this type of painting. It's purely up to you. I could put a lot more on, which would have lifted it up a lot more even. A little bit of a line in the water reflection would have been wonderful in that painting. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye bye for now. Just taking it round that corner, the road, directing your eye around up there. Yep. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Love you all.